It's really got to be drilled. When we talk about a low single leg,
This is probably his most attempted attack. This little cross ankle pick from his Russian tie. Right, so a lot of same things. Takes off Russian tie. This guy's got head position here now. He squares up. Now they're basically in the same line. Feet are matching. So he's not beside him. Doesn't have a huge angle. But just like any good ankle pick, he's going to level change. And this guy's head comes down with him. And he kind of uses this shoulder and likely his high hand on his Russian tie to get the weight to the heel. All right, we can see this guy's toe coming off the mat. Really good indication of good ankle pick. All right, so we got down and weight to heel for good ankle pick mechanics. Grabs the heel. All right, and then continues his drive with his arm and his shoulder, and then eventually just traps second leg. Some things that can happen in here is guys will push too far with this elbow, and you'll end up with this arm like all the way in front with your arms crossed basically, which is not ideal. All right, so that, what an arm. All right, so like if your arm ends up in front of his leg and past your ankle pick arm, you held on too long or you pushed too hard or you just let it fall by, you want to make sure that it doesn't go past your arm. You don't want your arms to cross. Catch his second leg, quick finish. This one is like way slower or more controlled. And he doesn't even really get both hands controlled on the guy's arm. But remember, as we talked about in that first video, I think, the high hand control is kind of what is important here. So here he's actually got chin on top of the guy's head, which definitely gets the guy's head down. And then he's just looking, right? You can see his eyes looking for if this foot's in front or not, or if it's close enough to be able to attack, right? And then, I mean, I think just about anybody would say this is not good defensive position. Catches his heel, continues to drive, and then again releases before his hands cross, right? So we can actually see, I believe this is his hand, which if it's pointed that direction, it means his elbow's probably pointed forward to get some of that drive and push. We can see where the weight shift is going from the opponent posting their hand here and trying to step their foot. As we continue through, we see elbow is high and not across the guy's body. Again, catches second leg, quick finish. I think this one is beautiful. He's in motion the whole time. Catches cross ankle as the guy kind of tries to cross step out here. Again, lots of similar stuff. Really nice ear snap here. And then into, we can see off his ear snap, he is controlling or getting above that elbow into the armpit with his far hand. And then immediately looking to transition into his 2-on-1 position, or Russian tie position. Tries to get bottom hand free. Again, doesn't get a ton of control, and actually doesn't get any control with his hand. And he's immediately looking for that foot. All right, so let's rewind here, take a look at the snap. Really good snap. This guy recovers, so ideally if you're circling this direction to recover, you would want to have knees opposite of what this guy does. You'd want this one down, this one up. Here he has to make a rotation to get back to his feet. We see where he's pivoting. Now, PJ's on this side of the guy's body instead of over here. So when this rotates up, he can shift the weight and attack that far ankle. And again, doesn't let, we can't see his arm right here, but it doesn't go across. He is catching ankle and pulling his arm back. And you know, probably one of the questions you might ask, well, how do I know when to pull my arm out? Do a bunch of them and you'll probably figure it out. I think it's going to be different for each person, but as long as your arms aren't crossing and this guy's not ending up behind your armpit, then it should be fine, right? So do a bunch of them. You'll figure out the perfect or ideal timing to reach across for that double. Same idea here as the last one. It's a snap into kind of his Russian tie position, little drag action, and then catches far ankle. All right, so this one's a wrist snap, or I guess more on his forearm. All right, so he's actually pulling this arm down and then shifts to drag with his inside hand. Other hand, remember, high up in that armpit. This one he looks to drag, which is kind of like my favorite combo he does, is drag into Russian tie or drag into ankle pick. Here is the guy recovers. Lots of pressure down on this guy's head. This guy goes to step up. He can see the foot. Then attacks across. Here we get a good view of this arm, right? So as he pushes, here he gets less cross drive and more toward the opponent's butt type of drive, right? So if you're going more backwards with it or taking the opponent backwards with it, this elbow probably won't ever cross, right? Still releases, ends up catching two legs. Here we get to see how these two things can work back and forth or together with one another. Gets his Russian tie, looks across ankle, then kind of goes into a drag. Can't really tell if the guy slipped here or not, but we will look. So it gets traditional control. Sees that footstep. Looks to attack. Doesn't quite get to his heel. Almost. Guy's able to step his foot back. Oh, actually, good defense. Guy just reaches down, picks his hand up. All right. Lots of pressure afterwards. This direction from the Russian tie. All right, so he steps back and his foot misses the ground. I guess, yeah, just weird off balance, but then he goes right into this drag motion and is able to chase near leg and get his go behind. This is a really good example. We can see a little bit more of the kind of patience aspect of what this ankle pick can be like, and then he transitions it into drag. All right, so takes off his Russian tie. All right, takes ground, starts to get weight down, then looks for, there's the weight shift down, then looks for this cross ankle right here. Okay, so again, if this guy tries to circle away from his Russian tie, which is pretty normal, it's pretty easy to grab this foot. All right, here he steps his foot back a little bit and away, and his body ends up turning butt toward PJ here. So as that happens, he's got way more of an angle on this side as opposed to looking to attack that foot. Then he just transitions his ankle pick hand up in the armpit, looking for his drag, then hustles behind him. Really nice little combo.